So she told me about the shelter. So the shelter was on Century in Vermont. Talking about they got a shelter. You stay in the shelter, and they give you it's maybe $20 a cot. Now, I mean, in my mind, I'm thinking $20 a cot. Then I'm thinking about the shelter and the orphanage. I'm thinking like on the Little Rascals, you know. They got all that old type of stuff. I'm like, $20 a cot? I'm like, all right, so you know what? Just give me one cot. I go up in there, so it's a shelter, but it's really a drug program that's in a church where everybody on there, they on drugs, transitional housing, and all this type of stuff. So I go up in there, and the whole thing is, if you go to the shelter and you get on a program, the county building will pay for you to stay there. But in order for me to find out all about this, so when I was telling the lady what was going on, I'm checked in the shelter. They gave me one cot, so they gave me one cot. So my whole night I'm in the shelter like this, sitting on the one cot. My son on the bed, 2 years old. I'm in the cot like this all night. Look, people coming in through the back door, crackhead type stuff. But when you get up in the morning I get up. So I'm trying to find the resource. You know, you got the bulletin board, and where can I go get some help at? Blah 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 blah. The people that was in the shelter, they had been living. These people that been in that shelter 4 or 5 years, cause that's a hustle. If it ain't nobody in the shelter, it's like the non-profit organizations, they get money for that. Cause if you stand in the shelter, they get your whole check, and they get your whole GR check. I mean, all your food stamps, right? So you give them that. So I'm trying to find ways out, and I'm on the bus. And then in the 90s in LA, it's way crazy high. You see how it is now? So picture 10 times crazier than it was. The whole skid row was zombies rolling around. You know, and I'm from Kansas. I'm like Gomer Pyle in town, catching buses. So now they give me the runaround everywhere I go. I go to this county building, tell them the story. They send me over here. I tell them the story. So I end up doing this, telling my story the whole time, and I ain't really getting no help. They give me the runaround because you see how I look. And then everybody does the hustle to get welfare and all that. So and then you know, I got my son. They thinking this game and all this. So man, after about 2 weeks of me going back and forth, trying to keep myself together in the shelter and keep my clothes up and keep my self-esteem and then when I'm riding around, niggas are saying where you from. I'm getting gang banged on. I'm trying to. I ain't doing no music. I'm trying my best to stay up and keep my wits about myself. So now, so even with that. So that made me, even while I'm going through my struggle, I'm starting to see how single women go through it now. Because I'm a single male, right? So I'm out here, I picture myself when I'm on my struggle with my son. Like I at some point, I carry him put him on how your legs be like this. He dead asleep on his head, on my head. I'm on the bus, I'm falling asleep on the bus stop. I wake up and everybody see me discombobulated. People seeing what's going on. Same thing. I think that's my story, man. Real life. I think they flipped that and took some Ric-Hard, man. You feel me? So, cause other people, when the movie came out, people was telling me about that. So, man, after about my, so one day I was determined to get some help, man. I said I ironed my clothes up that next morning, leaving the shelter, and the people, back then the county, how they got the county bill now, you in between the glass. But back in the day, it'd be like you sitting right in front of them. So this day I went there, my legs long, so I'm sitting there waiting. I already waited 3-4 hours of my name be called, so I'm frustrated. So the chick that's my caster, when I look back at it later, she probably was trying to flirt with me, because when she came and sat down, she was like, "Hey man, why you got your feet, your long legs on my side of the table?" Man, when she said that, I pulled a full-fledged nigga nutty. Man, why you playing with me, man? I done moved out here from Kansas City, Kansas, changed my life. I did this, I did that, I did this, I did that. I read all this paperwork, and y'all ain't helping me. I need some help. Man, I had my total full nutty collapse breakdown, right? So when I did that, she got up and just disappeared. So now when I come to my senses, I'm up in the county building looking around. I'm like, I don't know if she's going to get security guards. I don't know what she's going to get. So when she went, she about an hour or something later, she came back with paperwork. Sign that, sign that, sign that, sign that, sign that. What the paperwork was, something called homeless housing assistance. That's available for anybody that got a child in Los Angeles, because it's against the law for you to be outside on the street with your child. So they got programs called homeless housing assistance, where the program, they pay for your shelter, they pay for everything to get you started. And these programs are still going on now. And then, so when I pulled that nutty, She came back, gave me the homeless housing assistance, and so what I well, how to go? Oh, she gave me homeless housing assistance. Then she they gave me the money to qualify for that. So then they sent me to a place called homeless housing assistance, which is downtown on Skid Row. So now I got to come down there on Skid Row. So I'm trying to find my way. You know how they look down there. So now while I'm walking around, while I got my son, the people, all the crackheads and the less fortunate people, the mentally ill, because everybody ain't on no dope. A lot of more people are not on dope. So that's why I started getting the help. People talking about, you got your little boy with you? So if you go down there, you can get this help. If you go down there, you can get this help. So the street people was telling me what was going on with the help. So I went to the Louis Darren Bray. He asked me where I wanted to stay at, because they had the affordable housing. So my check at the time was like $500, $523 or something. And so I'm like, man, shit, I came from the hood in Kansas, man. I don't want to stay in no hood no more. I want to stay in Hollywood. So they went and looked for the affordable housing in Hollywood. So they didn't have no affordable housing in Hollywood. So he came and showed me the map. He talking about this town is called Silver Lake. So we went to Silver Lake. He showed me on the map. I was like, okay, that's the edge of Hollywood. So I went over there, looked at the apartment, met this Mexican lady, man. Hey, and basically you had to have somebody that's going to accept the payment. Went through there, they gave me that spot. Boom, I got my spot. So now I'm up in my spot, collapsed, laid down, whole day, me and my son. So, but during the time when I was going through that process during that week, I had my partner that I grew up with in school, Eric Harriman, my Jewish partner. I grew up with him, and he had already got into the music business because he one of the reasons why I came out here too, because he already told me he could hook me up. So one of these times when I was going through it in LA at the shelter, I was standing outside with like some burgundy khakis on, had like burgundy. It wasn't red, it was burgundy. It was nowhere near red. But people, like every time people was telling me, man, you can't be over here with that, man. You know they'll come over here and shoot us up over here. So that was one of my end of my ropes too for that day. So I called my partner, hey man, I'm up in the hood, Vermont Century, Holy Temple Mental Shelter. Man, come get me up out of here, man. I need a break. So he came, picked me up. So we ride down Vermont. We going towards Hollywood. I don't know where we going. We go to Hollywood, end up going to Beverly Hills. He pulled across the street from so we go to a mansion on Crescent Heights, across the street from Beverly Hills Police Station. We knocked on the mansion door. I think Jack A came and opened it from 227. Jack A was up in there. Michael Jackson, bass player, was up in there. One of the Playboy Playmate models was up in there. Go back up in the room. Jewish white dude, Ted Silver, looking like Mallet Boys, was one in there beating on one of them MP3 drum machines, making a beat. Went up in there. Went in there. They hooked the mic up. So I spit a freestyle verse. That freestyle verse, you can hear that today on Die Hard 3, Bruce Willis. Die Hard with a Vengeance. So I ended up dropping the verse. They got excited. Like, yeah, we gonna submit that. So, excuse me. So what he was happening to be doing, he do movie soundtracks and he pitched songs. They pitched the song, they used it for Die Hard. A couple days later, I told my boss, I'm under this situation, man. I can't get no cash, man, and report all that, man. What we gonna do? He's like, man, I hooked it up. My boy gonna pay you. So I went back out there. Boom, he counted $20,000 in my face. I went from the shelter. Went from the shelter on the bus back out here, $20,000 in my pocket on the bus, down in the hood. Got my crib. So now I got $20,000, and I got my crib. So now I'm living off of that. So now I'm talking about, so how now I give me a car. So I'm going to end up got me an old school Pinto for $600, but it was mint condition, gas saver, all that. So now I'm out here rolling and all that. And that's what happened, man. I got my car, got my job, and now I ain't got no job yet. So now I'm living off the $20,000. But $20,000 in LA, they don't last that long.